Jennifer Lopez and P. Diddy talk about a relationship that's been there, done that, and has now returned to the spotlight due to some very concerning headlines. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Scandalous Media. It's Alana here, and today we will be talking all about JLO and P. Diddy's impactful relationship, the notorious night they both got arrested in 1999, and how JLO's name is being connected to P. Diddy in light of all the things that have been exposed about him now. JLO and P. Diddy, two of the biggest names in music and entertainment, famously dated in the early 2000s, sparking intense media attention and speculation. Their high-profile relationship, which lasted from 1999 to 2001, was marked by red carpet appearances, hit songs, and tabloid drama. Together, they were a power couple in the industry, blending JLo's rising acting career and musical success with P. Diddy's entrepreneurial empire and hip-hop stardom. Their time together was short-lived, but it left a lasting imprint on pop culture, from their shared style moments to the infamous 2000 Grammy Awards green dress moment that practically invented Google Images. Today, we will be talking about their relationship while also dabbling into the scandalous truths that hide in plain sight. There is so much to say when it comes to the Diddy story, and there can be multiple video parts made, seeing as the entire Diddy story is just grasping the surface of what's been happening all along behind closed doors in the Hollywood scene. The real narrative, with all its complexities and secrets, stretches far beyond what we see on the surface. So before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe for more. You can hit that like button and take it as your contribution to helping us continue exposing the lies of the rich and famous. Check out our merch to rock some cool designs, and without further ado, let's start. Jenny from the Block meets Puff Daddy. Before she became Jenny from the Block, Jennifer Lopez was an aspiring actress and singer with dreams of making it big. Born in 1969 in the Bronx, New York, JLo was a child when she was taking dance lessons and making her film debut in My Little Girl at age 16. She was in a few small roles on TV and landed her first big TV role in 1991 as a dancer on In Living Color. Her first major movie role was in My Family in 1995. JLo got her big break in 1997 when she landed the role of Selena Quintanilla in the biopic Selena. She later went on to release albums and found mainstream success. Her first album, titled On the 6, was produced by Diddy and was released in 1999. Her album JLO, released in 2001, is her most successful album to date. Before he was P. Diddy the Rapist, he used to go around with the name Puff Daddy. Diddy was born in 1969 in Harlem, New York City, and rose to fame as a rapper, record producer, and entrepreneur. Before his demise, he was once celebrated for his profound influence on hip-hop and the music industry. Diddy essentially helped Jennifer's music career by producing her first ever album after the two met on a music video shoot. Diddy had just broken up with his long-term on-again, off-again girlfriend Kim Porter when he sparked a relationship with JLo. Now, it wouldn't be a Jennifer Lopez topic if we didn't talk about the controversy that is tied to her music. Since the start of her music career, JLo has been plagued with controversy over stolen songs and not being the sole singer of most of her songs. Artists like Ashanti and Christina Milian have said that when they produced JLo's music, she heavily relied on their vocals. Not only that, but one of JLo's former backup vocalists, Natasha Raymonds, has claimed that she lent her voice to JLo for her hit single, Jenny from the Block.
I think the problem with Jenny from the Block is that they cut my laugh. They kept ad-libs and they turned her vocals like all the way down, and the from the Bronx part is me, and it's just, yeah.
A lot of people claim that Jennifer stole the song from Natasha, but Natasha herself had said that the song wasn't stolen from her and that it was written for JLo, hence it being titled Jenny from the Block. What Natasha did find funny is that after she recorded the song and JLo loved it, she was told that they wanted to keep her voice on there and that JLo was going to do some background vocals on top of her voice. She says, "I am convinced that they turned her vocals all the way down because it sounds almost identical to the reference track." The theory of Jennifer having ghost singers goes far beyond background vocals. Natasha has said that when she did ad-libs for Jenny from the Block, that meant her vocals were the main ones present. But there is an even further claim that JLo has used Ashanti's vocals for most of her biggest hits, and it's not just some background vocals, it's the whole thing. If you listen to JLo's song Play, you can hear the voice of Christina Milian, who not only wrote the song but sings the entire chorus, while JLo just lip-sings along in the music videos and live performances. As we recalled earlier, Ashanti has lent her voice to JLo a massive amount of times in her earlier catalog. You can hear her singing in Ain't It Funny and I'm Real. Opening up as Jen's double, Ashanti explained in 2014, "I wrote Ain't It Funny. I demoed the record for her before I was signed to Murder Inc., and they kept my hook and some of the backgrounds and ad-libs and stuff like that. It was bittersweet because I was really excited that it was JLO, but I was so mad at not being able to have the record for myself. Now, JLo's singing career must have been so wildly known as a scam behind closed doors, because even Io, a Debary, comedian and the Bear actress, has said that JLo's career was one long scam back in 2020. Io said, "Well, that's the thing. She thinks she's on multiple tracks, but it's not her. I think she thinks that she's still good even though, like, she's not singing most of these songs. A lot of the write-ups of the songs will be like, JLo didn't have time to make it to the studio. Like, JLo was busy. It's like, doing what? Not singing, obviously."
Her whole career is one long scam.
Oh, the longest con.
She thinks she's on multiple tracks, but it's not her. I think she thinks that she's still good, even though, like, she's not singing for most of these songs.
She later apologized for the whole thing once it was brought up years later, saying she felt really bad about it, but that's even more proof for us to see that it was one big facade. We can have a whole separate part 2 on JLo's entire career breakdown, and how not only did she lip-sync vocals that weren't hers, but also got criticized for heavily ripping off other artists and stealing from them. But the main point is that I'm not all that shocked that JLo was participating in a scheme of smoke and mirrors while calling it a music career, because there is so much puppeteering work being done in the music industry, and her link to Diddy tells us all we need to know. Diddy first began his career in the music industry as an intern at Uptown Records, where he rose through the ranks to become a talent director. He was pretty successful and helped launch the careers of Mary J. Blige and Jodeci. By 1993, he left Uptown Records to start his label, Bad Boy Records. Diddy's label launched with the release of Notorious B.I.G.'s Ready to Die. His connection to Biggie and Tupac remains extremely controversial, as many have pointed signs at P. Diddy for playing a role in their deaths. The belief that Diddy had something to do with the murders of Biggie and Tupac stems from a combination of conspiracy theories, rumors, and the ongoing mystery surrounding the deaths of the two hip-hop icons in the 1990s. Both murders remain unsolved to this day, and over the years, various theories have circulated implicating people within the hip-hop industry, including Diddy. A big theory comes from the East Coast-West Coast rivalry. In the 1990s, the rivalry between East Coast and West Coast hip-hop artists was intense, with Tupac representing the West Coast and Biggie representing the East Coast at the center of the feud. Diddy, as head of Bad Boy Records, Biggie's label, was seen as a major figure in the East Coast hip-hop scene. Tupac, on the other hand, was aligned with Death Row Records, which was heavily associated with the West Coast. Now, keep Death Row Records in mind for later on in this video. The animosity between the coasts contributed to an environment of tension and violence, and some conspiracy theories suggest that these tensions may have been more than just a rivalry between artists, possibly involving higher stakes like money, power, and control over the music industry. In the years leading up to the murderers, both Tupac and Biggie were involved in heated feuds with each other and their respective record labels. Diddy was rumored to be involved in the dispute behind the scenes, though there is no concrete evidence to support this. For instance, Tupac's 1996 song Hit 'Em Up was a diss track aimed at Biggie, Diddy, and others associated with Bad Boy Records. In the song, Tupac made explicit deaths and accusations. Some speculated that the feud escalated beyond music, fueling conspiracy theories that Diddy may have had personal or business motives to silence Tupac and Biggie. It's a wild conspiracy that has legitimate theories, but concrete evidence has yet to come out. And who knows, with the way Diddy's getting exposed, there might be decades worth of evidence coming out soon. Now, JLo's sketchy music career and the connection to a violent criminal isn't the only thing that's scandalous about their relationship. JLo's relationship to Diddy and Diddy's violent past. JLo and Diddy were inseparable, and the media couldn't get enough of them. They attended award shows together, and many of their photos are considered to be iconic in pop culture. A huge moment in their relationship was when they both got arrested in 1999 for a shooting that took place over disputes over a music video. In April of 1999, Steve Stout, a record producer, claimed that after disputes over a music video, Diddy and his bodyguards beat him up with a champagne bottle, a telephone, a chair, and their fists. Diddy could have faced up to 7 years in prison had he been convicted of felony assault. Instead, Steve asked the Manhattan District Attorney to drop the charges after Diddy publicly apologized. Diddy said that he was upset that Steve, who was an Interscope Records executive, used footage of him being crucified on a cross for rapper Nas's Hate Me Now. That December, an argument broke out at a Manhattan nightclub where Diddy was spending a night out with JLo, who was his girlfriend at the time. A fight broke out, and at least 2 people were injured by gunfire. The details and timeline of the interaction remain unclear, even though the trial for the incident was highly publicized. What we do know is that a man named James Shine Johnson, who was signed to Diddy's label Bad Boy Records, fired several shots inside the club after an altercation with another person. One of the bullets struck a bystander in the face, while others hit the ceiling and the walls of the club. Diddy was initially charged with illegal possession of a firearm and reckless endangerment. The prosecution argued that Diddy had driven the car carrying the weapon used in the shooting and that he was involved in the altercation that led to the violence. He was also charged with conspiracy, as it was alleged that he and his entourage tried to cover up the incident. Shine, who was the one who fired the shots, was also charged and convicted of assault, reckless endangerment, and possession of a weapon. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison, although his sentence was later reduced. Attorney Johnny L. Cochran Jr. defended Diddy, and he was charged with gun possession and bribery but was found not guilty. Johnny Cochran was the same lawyer who was on the Dream Team defense for O.J. Simpson. While Diddy was acquitted, the trial and its media coverage was a major blow to his image. The public was divided about his involvement in the situation, and many viewed him as lucky to have escaped conviction. The incident also led to a fallout with Jennifer, and they broke up shortly after the shooting. This scandal, along with the trial, played a part in the shift in both Diddy's public persona and his business dealings in the early 2000s. Diddy and JLO broke up, and JLO went off and dated Ben Affleck for the first time in 2002. Funny story, actually, I made a post on my blog Scandalous Media for Ben and JLO after they reunited, and in that post I talked to a source who specifically remembers how hard Ben was trying to impress JLO after she was used to the wealth and prestige of being with Diddy. My source said Ben almost went broke as a newcomer actor trying his hardest to impress JLO with gifts and expenses that she was used to with Diddy. Diddy, on the other hand, was trying to clean up his act and was focused on building an empire that goes beyond music from the years of 2004 to 2013. He went on to release a clothing brand named Sean John, forging a partnership to release Ciroc Vodka, and founded Revolt TV. By 2015, he was arrested again and charged with assault of a deadly weapon, making terror claims and battery after an altercation with a UCLA football coach. The source told the LA District Attorney, sources inside the LA DA's office believe the case against Diddy is a good pursuable one. As we've reported, UCLA's athletic facility is equipped with security cameras, and reportedly the video footage of the incident is considered strong evidence. Campus police arrested Diddy Monday after they reviewed the video. TMZ reported on the initial arrest, indicating that the football coach chewed out defensive back Justin Combs, Diddy's son, and told him, "I don't care if your dad's here, this is UCLA, I'm going to treat you just like I treat everyone else." After the practice session ended, Diddy allegedly went to the coach's office in the school's athletic facility and grabbed him. It was reported that Diddy and his son walked into the football coach's office, and Diddy put his hands on him after the coach said he would call security. The staff got Diddy away from the coach and moved him to the weight room, which is when Diddy picked up a kettlebell and swung it at an intern. It was reported that the football coach had scratches on his face and his shirt was ripped. Diddy's team argued that it was self-defense, and he was released on bail. He got away with it, and it's nice to report on this knowing he's currently in jail and was denied bail 3 times. We already know from Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura how violent and abusive Diddy is. It's crazy to think someone can act like this, and yet all it takes is one video to play for us to visually imagine the rest of the stories. Now flash forward to the year 2024, and Diddy's relationship with JLO comes back around, as there has been more information being shed on their relationship from witnesses. JLO's connection to Diddy's case. There's a lot of misinformation being spread around that if you're a celebrity who posed with Diddy at a party or a dinner, then suddenly you're an accomplice to all his crimes. That isn't necessarily true. Many celebrities know things that happen behind closed doors, but they're not powerful enough to stop it on their own, and trust me, some have tried. JLO is now being looked at with suspicious eyes due to all that has come out about Diddy, which has been aggressively bad. He should probably start planning his funeral, if you know what I mean. But so far, what is being made public news in regards to JLO and Diddy's relationship? For starters, we now know about Diddy and his freak-off parties. The name alone tells you exactly what kind of parties these are. A witness tells TMZ that during one of these freak-off parties, Diddy had one of JLO's music videos being played in the background on repeat. Rachel Kennedy, who was a former Playboy model, told Daily Mail that she and 2 friends met Diddy at a topless club in Japan back in the year 2000. He met them and invited them back to his hotel suite. She recalls a story on the Daily Mail's The Trial of Diddy podcast, saying that she thought she was going to a party, but when she arrived, the only person in the room was Diddy in a bathrobe. She even goes into detail saying that she and her friends ended up doing cocaine, but Diddy didn't. She says that since the time they walked into the hotel room, there was a music video playing on the TV of JLO singing, and that the video was playing on a loop. This was during his relationship to JLO, and the former model claims that he was on the phone with JLO during the entire hotel session. Rachel's experience adds another layer to the conversation surrounding the treatment of women in the entertainment industry, bringing to light issues of accountability and power dynamics. As Rachel recalls, the events left her and her friends feeling manipulated and disturbed. When JLO was spotted, she ignored all questions about Diddy.
Any comments about P. Diddy and the allegations?
Hey Jennifer, do you have anything to say about the P. Diddy situation?
Amid all this drama, people started blaming Jennifer and questioning if she knew things about Diddy that she stayed quiet over. A former staffer of Jennifer's who worked on her rom-com film Made in Manhattan in 2002 took to social media to blast speculation about Jennifer. She said, "If you knew Jennifer Lopez, if you ever worked with her like I did, or if you were close with people who were like family to her like I am, you would know that she did not have any idea about Diddy. She barely drinks, she is not a partier, she isn't a good time girl, she's a workaholic who uplifts women and who was charmed by him for a brief time in her life. She does not need to be conflated with his shocking and criminal misdeeds." In the past, JLo has commented on her relationship with Diddy, which she calls tempestuous and emotionally exhausting, and that they split up because of his infidelities. People could be described as tempestuous if they're prone to violent mood swings and fits of passion. I think it's pretty telling what she experienced if she's describing Diddy in that way. JLo said, "We broke up many times before that and got back together and broke up again and nobody knew about it." Jennifer's ex-husband Ojani Noah blames Diddy for their split, saying that part of the divorce was the hip-hop mogul's fault. Ojani, who married JLo in February 1997, has often blamed their split on her working with Diddy when they worked on her debut album On the Six. In the past, Diddy had said that he got caught up in the hype of dating JLo, but he was still in love with Kim Porter. Kim alleged that Diddy and JLo were not real, saying, "He just got caught up in the hype. My man is Mr. Hype." She also said that JLo and Diddy were only together to share the spotlight. In 2003, JLo spoke about Diddy cheating on her, saying, "I never caught him, but I just knew. He'd say that he was going to a club for a couple of hours and then he'd never come back that night. It was the first time I was with someone who wasn't faithful. I was in this relationship with Puff where I was totally crying, crazy, and going nuts. It really took my whole life in a tailspin." Diddy cheating on JLo goes hand in hand with the accusations of sexual abuse. According to lawsuits filed against Diddy, he has been accused of and raping a 13-year-old girl at a 2000 VMAs afterparty. Diddy allegedly aggressively approached the young girl with a crazed look in his eyes before essaying her at the event. The victim also claims an unnamed male celebrity also raped her while Diddy and an unnamed female celebrity watched. Many started pointing the finger at JLo as being the unnamed female celebrity, but she is not named in the lawsuit. On top of that, there is a photo that resurfaced from the night of the party where it looks like JLo and Diddy are fighting. Diddy has denied all allegations made about him, and his attorneys have told the Daily Mail that he never essayed anyone and that the most recent barrage of filings were nothing but clear attempts to garner publicity. Diddy's attorneys told Daily Mail, "Mr. Combs and his legal team have full confidence in the facts, their legal defenses, and the integrity of the judicial process. In court, the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anyone, adult or minor, man or woman." Yeah, okay. He's quite confident for a man who has been looked into by the feds themselves, but then again, it's all a media act. He needs to act confident and deny all the allegations in hopes that the public will also start to believe it's all made up. But I'm pretty sure both he and his lawyers know it's going to go downhill more than it already has. On the other hand, with Jennifer, sources close to her have said the scandal and association to his name have been damaging to her health. An insider revealed to Radar Online that Jennifer knows everyone is asking what she knew about Diddy, and it's clear she's on the run from answering any of it. She is aware that people are preoccupied with her past romance with Diddy because of what she has recalled about their relationship in the past. According to insiders, her links to him resurfacing are a PR disaster for her and damaging her health. The source also reminds everyone that JLo is already under massive stress levels as she goes through her divorce from Ben Affleck and is now going through a PR disaster. While some point the finger at JLo for her possible association with Diddy's crimes, others think she may have been innocent and could verify some of the allegations that he claims never took place. The source says, sooner or later, JLo is going to have to sit down and say what she knew, as she could even be called as a witness at Diddy's trial. It's interesting to bring up Ben Affleck because now reports are starting to come out saying that her association with Diddy aided in her divorce with Ben. Apparently, Ben was given tapes of Jennifer from the Diddy raids done by the FBI. Let me give you guys a quick refresher. Ben and JLo dated in the early 2000s, split up, and then 2 decades later, reunited and got married in 2022. It wasn't long before their relationship turned to trouble, with reports of them living separately on different coasts of the country, before JLo filed for divorce in August 2024. If you want the full deep dive on these two, we have made 2 in-depth videos, so go check them out. So here is what this person is alleging about the FBI talking to Ben. Suge Knight, a former record executive and convicted felon, spoke out in a new episode of his prison podcast named Collect Calls with Suge Knight. Suge claims that when the FBI confiscated tapes from the raids on Diddy's mansions earlier in the year, some of them included JLO. He said, "They go raid Puffy's house, and they get all these videos of JLO doing this and JLO doing that." He then recalls her involvement in the 1999 club shooting where Shine took the fall for Diddy. He said, "They know the fact that JLO lied and said the gun was Shine's or whatever and sent that man to prison, destroyed his life, and she knew it was Puffy's." Diddy has had a lot of nicknames in the past, some of them being Puff, Puff Daddy, Love, and a whole bunch of nonsense like that. Now, some of you may be like me and are asking, well, who the hell is convicted felon Suge Knight? Suge Knight was a central figure in gangsta rap's commercial success in the 1990s. His record label, Death Row Records, released Dr. Dre's The Chronic in 1992 and Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style in 1993, the same Death Row Records that Tupac was signed to when the whole West Coast-East Coast feud was taking place with Diddy and Biggie. He is currently serving a 28-year sentence in prison for a fatal hit-and-run in 2015. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I hear a former CEO of a record label talking with his chest about other Hollywood peers, knowing he is behind bars with not much to lose, I'm gonna take him seriously. Especially because Suge was known to be one of the most famous and leading record executives in hip-hop before ending up in prison for 28 years. Anyway, Suge says that he believes Ben is in possession of those tapes and that the information on them has played a crucial role in straining the couple's relationship. He says, "I'm quite sure they, FBI, probably called. It's a white man who got respect in the white world. I'm quite sure they said, 'We want to show you some things about your wife.'" He also claims that part of the reason they got divorced was because he wanted to live his own quiet life and she brings in all that other extra things he didn't want. This is on par with what we said in both of our videos about them, and on par with what the media speculated when it came to Ben looking miserable around JLO, who looks like she has more of an appetite for the fast lane. He says, "I'm quite sure they headed for a divorce because that's a man who had a good life. Great parents don't spend a lot of money. Ain't tripping off paparazzi, he's living his life, he's got his own team. She done brought all that extra shit, and now he wants out." I do believe there's some bias with Suge. Perhaps it could be that he didn't like JLo's involvement with other hip-hop stars and is looking at Ben, someone not involved with the history of hip-hop, as some victim. I can assure you Ben didn't have this great life that JLo tried to taint. He struggled with addiction and was often not that pleasant because of it. Nonetheless, I do agree with him on the fact that Ben isn't tipping off paparazzi and doesn't want to bask in the media attention the same way JLo does. I do believe JLo's involvement with Diddy back in the late 90s was because he was supposed to help make her a huge star, since he was known for picking out talent, especially in the hip-hop community. I think they both basked in the media attention and glory. I also question JLo's morals since we know she hasn't been that pleasant to people less than her, but I don't question them so much so that I think she's actually involved with Diddy and his crimes. But I have a feeling all of our questions will soon be answered with this being an ongoing investigation and with Diddy's trial that's scheduled for May 2025. I know some people were annoyed that it was scheduled for 2025, but that's actually a pretty quick trial date, seeing as many of these cases with huge amount of magnitude takes a few years before they make it to trial, which tells me one thing: the feds are ready, and so are the lawyers. They've been looking into Diddy for years. Finally, some justice in Hollywood might actually be served, but let's just hope he doesn't turn out to have an Epstein ending, if you know what I mean. In the meantime, we will be updating you guys on everything Diddy. Tell us if you want a part 2, and we can even do a deep dive into Justin Bieber's alleged past with Diddy. As you guys know, we are the most qualified to talk about Justin and his past, seeing as we've been constantly updating our blog readers about his life since 2013, his start, his present, and his future. We can even make this a whole child star trouble series, seeing as Justin Bieber isn't the only child star being looked into when it comes to the crimes of Hollywood executives. So make sure to let us know your thoughts down below. Do you think JLo is involved with more than the media saying, or was she just as helpless as the rest of us? Do you think the feds warned Ben about JLo and her possible association with Diddy? Or do you think Suge is just a bit biased towards JLo since he was the CEO of the label that Tupac was signed with? Let us know your thoughts and make sure to hit that like button for more. Take the like button as your contribution to helping us continue exposing the lies of the rich and famous. Make sure to subscribe for more, go check out our merch if you want to rock some cool designs, and as always, I'll see you next time.